What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Value Bomb Wednesday training. And this is actually a follow-up from part one, but I had a lot more questions after we posted the first part of the top 5 FAQs. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through a lot of the common questions you guys might be having if you're considering using 0% funding, what it takes to be able to get approved, how it all works. So instead of making a bunch of individual trainings, I just thought it'd be a lot easier to give you kind of this high level overview. But if after this you guys still have questions, make sure to drop it in the comments and we'll be making sure to reach out to you guys. So if you guys are new here, my name is Miguel. I've been doing the 0% funding space for over 5 years now. I've helped raise over $4 million in 0% funding for clients. And my whole goal with this community and this channel is to be able to help you guys be able to raise the 0% funding that you guys need to be able to either start or scale your business. I know when I first got into e-commerce, Airbnb, and fix and flips, like the number one problem that I had was just, I don't have the money for it. I know this thing is going to help me get to the next level, but without the funding for it, everything's just an idea, right? So that was the same thing that I had to go through. I ended up spending tens of thousands of dollars through other 0% funding coaches to be able to learn this. And now I'm hooking you guys up with a ton of free knowledge that a lot of other people pay money to be able to learn this. So I hope this is valuable for you guys. Just so you guys know, I'm not a coach. I just do done for you funding for people, some coaching for the right people, but for the most part, we just do done for you funding just because it's a lot easier for our clients to be able to get the funding when we have control and could just do it all for you guys. But anyways, let's go back into the top 5 frequently asked questions, part 2. So, what if I told you guys that you don't need to be making millions in revenue to get approved for 50K plus and 0% funding, right? A lot of people believe they need high income or years in business before they could even start leveraging 0% business credit. And that's just simply not true if you know the right strategies. So today I'm answering more of the top frequently asked questions and breaking down how you could get funded even with low income, no revenue, or even if you have a brand new business. So make sure to stick around until the end, because I'll also share the fastest way to get your credit optimized so you could at least pre-qualify and get your funding journey started off on the right foot. So if you guys want that roadmap for your business, drop the word optimize in the comments below, and me and my team will personally put together a 3-bureau credit analysis to see, one, if you're qualified, and if you're not, we'll put together an optimization report walking you through exactly, hey, here are the pitfalls that you need, here's how we could fix it. Absolutely free. So drop the word optimize down below and we'll hook you guys up. But without further ado, let's get right into it, guys. FAQ number 1 is, can I still get funded if my income is low? So a lot of people think they don't even bother, going out after business credit if they're like, what, I'm not making that much money with my job or my business right now. I'm just not even going to try. I'm just going to stick with where we're at until we save enough money after a couple of years to be able to scale it. But the answer to this, can I still get funded if my income is low? The answer is yes. You don't need to be raking in millions of dollars before you could request business credit. Most people think banks require high income to be able to approve for funding, but here is the secret. With the right strategy in place, we can get you approved with what's called a no doc check approval. And basically what a no doc check approval means is the banks don't even request your tax documents to verify income. If you check off the right bank underwriting requirements, your income becomes less of a factor that they care about. This is how we help people with low income still get approved for 50K plus and 0% funding. And if you guys, again, want that custom game plan to qualify for the no doc check approvals, again, comment the word optimize down below and we'll run that free credit analysis and optimization report. But again, don't wait to go apply for business credit funding just because your income isn't where it needs to be. Obviously, once we get the funding to grow that business, you'll be able to actually get that income that you've been going for. But don't wait. You don't need to wait for years and rely just on savings. Inject that business and scale it a lot faster by using 0% funding and doing it now versus waiting and saving later. Now, FAQ number 2 is, I hear this a lot, is what if my business doesn't have any revenue yet, right? They're like, okay, why would a bank want to give me money if my business doesn't have any revenue yet? But the answer to this is you could still get funded even with zero revenue. So this is going to be a big shocker for people, but here's why, right? Just kind of like with income, some banks don't require revenue verification. And the only reason why they do this is as long as you check off their other bank underwriting requirements, right? If you're not checking off those and you don't have solid revenue or income yet, then of course they're going to deny you, or of course they're going to give you low limits. But if you can meet their other requirements, this isn't, it's almost like at a scale, right? They aren't going to care about this as much as long as you're meeting these other higher focused factors that they care more about. So they base it off the business's potential and attractiveness to lend to. So again, this is through the no doc check approval strategy. So they aren't going to require tax documents. They're not going to require bank statements to get approved. And some banks approve funding based on estimated revenue potential. So not actual revenue, based off of what the business can potentially make. Realistically, again, this only works if you know what the bank underwriting requirements are. So be smart with this. The key here is making your business look attractive to lenders. And that's where a good strategy comes in. Because again, if you're just throwing out a bunch of applications left and right, a bunch of Hail Marys, and you don't really know what you're doing, you're gonna get denied or you're gonna get low limits. So if you apply the wrong way, you look like a risk, but if you set things up correctly, banks want to give you the money. FAQ number 3 is, can I still get funded if my business is new? So a lot of people, they think, still can't do it. The business is new. It's not a year. It's not even 2 years or whatever old. But the answer is yes. It's all about how you set up your LLC. And make sure to take notes on these, because these are some actionable tips you guys could do right now. Is number 1 is, when you're setting up your LLC, choose a generic business name. Avoid high-risk words like capital, investing, restaurant. The reason why is those type of industries typically have a lot of overhead and see it as high risk. And if a business thinks you're high risk, it means you're less likely to be able to pay them back on the money you borrowed. So of course they're not going to want to give you funding on that if it's checking off all the wrong boxes, right? Number 2 is, some banks prefer businesses that are 2+ years old, but we know exactly which banks to target where business age doesn't matter as much. Again, as long as we're meeting the other business banking requirements. Number 3 is, you want to know how to set up your LLC properly. If you guys want to know how to set it up properly and create a free EIN and have a full in-depth training on how to do this, just comment the word LLC and I'll send it to you guys. If I go through this right now, it's going to be a way longer video than it needs to be. I've already made the training. But basically, when you're setting up an LLC, banks look at something called an NAICS code. And that code determines your level of risk depending on the industry you work in. So we want to have a generic name so it doesn't look high risk. We want a generic description that we could use. And typically I like to use something that has to do with consulting, because that's very low risk, not much of an overhead, and is very attractive to banks when you're asking them for funding. So when you guys are working with us, we actually build out this custom roadmap so we hit the right banks based on your guys' situation. That's why having the right strategy matters. Depending on a client's profile, there's specific sequences and orders of which banks and which cards you want to apply to get the best approvals. So again, use these tips, but make sure you guys have the right strategy in place before just sending out a bunch of applications. Now, the 4th frequently asked question is, why should I avoid applying for multiple banks on my own? And again, just as a recap, if you guys randomly apply without knowing the bank underwriting rules, here's what's going to happen. Is you're going to get approved for these small limits, 5K instead of where the bank is typically giving you 50K. You're losing out tons of money on the table just because you didn't invest the time or money to be able to get it done the right way. And many banks, they have multiple 0% cards. So if you don't know what you're doing and you go out and apply for a bank and let's say you only get approved for 5K, the next one's going to be around that same limit versus if we get 50K, the next one's going to be 50K, if not higher, right? The other thing too is applying to the wrong banks at the wrong time hurts your chances in future funding rounds. So here's an example is I had a client with an 845 credit score, literally damn near perfect, but because they applied on their own without knowing the right strategies, he only got approved for 5K. You guys do not want to do that. Now, imagine if you worked with a company who has had years of experience, has the success, and they got approved for 50K on the first round. His next rounds are going to be somewhere aligned with that. So moral of the story is work with an expert before applying blindly and hurting your guys' approvals in future funding rounds. Now, we're on to the fifth one. I've been doing a lot of content today. So here's the fifth and final frequently asked question is, what's the fastest way to get your guys' credit optimized so you guys can actually start getting funding and investing into your business? So the fastest way to stop guessing, avoid mistakes, and get pre-qualified ASAP today is simple. Connect with us. We have the best Facebook community where we show you guys a ton of free game. Our whole goal here is to provide tons of free value, build trust, and hopefully win you guys on as paid clients. But worst case scenario, if you guys don't become a paid client, that's fine. You're gonna walk away with tons of free value. We have a free Facebook group where we're dropping these trainings. We have a team where if you have questions, we'll answer it. And again, if you comment the right keywords, we'll send you specific trainings. We'll do credit analysis, optimization reports on your behalf, and help you guys move in the right direction. Our whole thing is we believe in giving value first, right? There's a ton of people online where they're just, give me the credit card right now, right? We're here to build trust, and we can only do that by giving free value first. That's why we put out tons of free trainings every week, just like this all the time. And my team's number one goal is to build trust in relationships before we even ask for a sale. That's why I tell them all the time, give until people feel stupid not to buy, right? And if you're one of those people who are cheap and not gonna buy, again, at least you get a ton of free value. But here's how we are able to help you absolutely 100% free. Get you guys started in the right path is step number one is we'll learn more about your goals, credit, and business situation. Number two is we'll run a free credit analysis on all three bureaus to see what needs to be optimized. And then step number three is we'll give you a free custom optimization roadmap so you guys know exactly what to do next. And where we come in is we'll help you optimize the credit score and profile and everything so you can at least be pre-qualified. We'll do a lot of that for free, but where we come in next is we know the bank underwriting requirements. We know how to talk to the banks. We know how to fill out the applications correctly. We have connections to the high-level bankers, and that's where we're able to provide the value to not just help you get pre-qualified, but for you guys to be able to turn these 5K approvals and get them into 50K on one card, right? And our whole goal is to stack multiple 0% cards so you guys, if you need the funding, we'll help you guys get 100, 200, 300K, whatever it is that your guys' goal is. So if you want to stop guessing and finally get the funding the right way, comment the word optimize, and let's get you guys that custom game plan absolutely free. And again, we're not one of those people who are going to try to twist your arm to get you to buy. We could at least give you guys value and you share some of the wins with us. That's enough for us. Obviously, we're a company, we got to make money, but for the people who are the right clients, the ones who aren't cheap and want to get there faster and want to avoid the mistakes, then we are here to help you guys. Most importantly, you guys are our main priority. But again, for you guys who might be cheap and just don't want to spend the money, then even if you guys never buy from us, that's fine. You'll walk away with more knowledge and free resources than 99% of the people out there. And you'll actually be able to start seeing wins. And a lot of the stuff that we post, this is stuff that a lot of online people are charging people to learn, and we give it to you guys absolutely free. So here's the final recap for you guys is, again, you can get approved with low income or no revenue. If you check off the right bank underwriting requirements, we could get you there. Number two is you could get approved even if your business is new. All you have to do is just avoid high-risk names and know which banks to apply to. where business age is a priority or not. And then number 3 is you should not apply to banks just randomly. You need to have a strategy. Your first approvals will kind of set the tone for the future approvals with that bank if you screw it up or if you do it right, right? It goes both ways. And the fastest way to get your guys' credit optimized to at least get pre-qualified is to work with us. We'll send you guys free resources. Just connect with us and we'll give you guys a ton of free game. But if you guys are ready to get funded, comment the word funding below and let's get you guys set up the right way. If you want a free custom game plan, comment the word optimize and we'll send you your credit analysis and roadmap so that you guys can pre-qualify ASAP. And hopefully by then, once you have had enough free value and you're ready for the next step, for the second part of the puzzle, that's where we come in and we can help you guys out with our done for you funding services. But if you guys are ready to start taking out the guessing, stop making mistakes, leaving money on the table, and you guys are finally ready to start and scale the business, then let's get started. Comment the keywords, and if you guys have any questions, drop them down below and we'll be happy to help. But as usual, thank you guys for lending me your eyes, ears, and attention. And on top of that, peace out, much love, stay beautiful. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace.